Good afternoon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I had promised that I would have spoken on the whole thing of unforgiveness, which was requested by LaShawn, and I have a personal testimony about unforgiveness and letting go. Now, we have already established that unforgiveness is sin. And as I have said before, I was reading this book, The Power of Forgiveness, Releasing God's Power, and it has really helped me. I was on my way to full recovery, but this has aided in the process and made it a little more easier for me. And I just want to give God glory, just want to give God praise and honor to his name. Have you ever been hurt so bad that you think that there is no comeback from what you have been hurt by? Well, I have been there, and it took me a number of months to get over what was really hurting me. No, we can be hurt by people who we thought would never hurt us. And it kind of send a shockwave. And sometimes we say we forgive, but we don't really forgive. Because if you find that you say that you are forgiving somebody, and you still have not managed or control the way you feel when you see the person, or if the hurt no rake up all over again, you know say you're forgiven. But if every time you see the person, the wound is fresh again in your mind and on your radar, you know say, all right, I have to work on this. And so I was hurt, and I tried to sweep it underneath the carpet. But let me tell you something, you cannot sweep unforgiveness underneath the carpet, because it will only eat out your heart. Not literally, but it will eat at your integrity, it will eat at you. And then when you think that you are okay, the level that you want to reach, unforgiveness is like crab. It will pull you down. And so I was of no help. When you have unforgiveness and when you're hurting, you're of no help. No help to anybody at all. And this is an important point that I have found in the book that I am reading. It says that distracted, hurt, and abused, we aren't much help to the kingdom. Once we are hurt, we will be more likely to hurt people than help them, and which is so true. And I was hurting, and me never deal with it properly. I thought that if I shrug it away, or if I don't address it, then everything would have been fine. But no, it doesn't work like that. If you don't deal with the hurt, you're going to be of no help. And I saw somebody put something on their status that if you don't heal the wound, then you're going to bleed on people who didn't cut you, which is so right. And I remember this incident happened lately, not the forgiveness, because I have dealt with my unforgiveness. And before I go into that issue, you see, if you have unforgiveness and you pray to God, He must can say to you that you need to make it right. And when Him, this is what I do. I used to say, God, give me a chance. Give me a chance. Make the person come in my way. Let me see him or her. Let me, that me have to say something to him. Give me a chance where me can sort out it. Make me put her in my pathway, put him in my pathway, put the person in my pathway. So me not avoid the person. Let me make it right, because me can't go to my bed. And if you have unforgiveness and you sleep right, something wrong with you. And if you have unforgiveness and everything hunky-dory with you, something wrong with you. You need to go back at the cross and make the Lord sort you out. No. After I dealt with my unforgiveness, and I'm sure you want to know how I dealt with it. I cried a lot, and I had my share of grieving over the situation and grieving about how much the person hurt me. But I realized that it is stifling my growth. So what I did, so I pray, and so every time I pray and I know that I want God to forgive me, I have to forgive other persons. And then forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for you. So if you want to grow, and if you want to excel, and if you want to excel in Jesus, and if you want a clean heart, and if you want healthy lifestyle, and to live healthy, you have to forgive. So what I did, before I could ask God for forgiveness, I had to forgive the person. And if you find out that you have something against a person, instead of having them up, this is what I do. I pray for the person daily. I mean, I talk about no bad prayer. I talk about, Lord, I'm asking you to help that person, bless that person, reveal yourself to that person, show yourself to that person. I mean, pray good prayer. So every time you pray for the person, it becomes easier, and it kind of cut it down. So every day you get up and you feel like, you just want to see the person, I just want to rub it in. Just pray for the person, and it gets so much easier. Now, with the hurting people now, some time ago, I was feeling hurt by a situation, and I didn't deal with it right away. And so I went up by church, and I was speaking on an issue, and something came up, and then I just blurt out to the person, and the person was hurt. And then my husband called me outside. No, my husband called the person outside and was talking to the person. And the person was crying, and she said that she was hurt by the way I spoke to her and all of that. So he called me outside, and he said that the person is hurt by the way I spoke to her. And because I was hurting, and me just blurt out again, so I'm feel about that. And then again, one next hurt pan hurt. And then if I stop to myself, I said, no, Farah. This is what you come to. And I felt so bad. And then I said, oh God, I have to apologize to this person. But then that is not what I did, I said to her, let me bring you in church and apologize. And she said, no. I said, no. Let me take you inside and let me apologize before everybody, because everybody heard when I did that to you, and I don't want them to think that it is ever okay to just go off on people. And I apologized. I really apologized. And then I identified with the person that wrote this book. Hurting people will hurt people. So if you find out that you are hurting, please deal with the hurt, because you're going to in turn hurt somebody else. Yes. And do not repay evil for evil or insult for insult. We no need to retaliate with harsh words if people are being hard to us. I know at times people may rub us the wrong way, but a bite on our own tongues is the best solution. Another solution that I was told about is to fill your mouth with some water. So when you feel like you want to answer, you can't answer because your mouth is filled with water. If you are like me, I am sure that your tongue full of whole heap of bruise, because you have to bite your tongue sometimes. A lot of time I have to bite my tongue. And being in the position, as I said, being in the position as, you know, my husband is a pastor and RTT, and me endure a lot. I will bite up my tongue. I will me dish them in a me sink get abused. Because when me have to bite my tongue and when me have to come home and deal with it, me take it out pan the plate them or the cup them. So we have to deal with the hurt. We have to deal with the hurt. And sometimes, and I not say sometimes, all the time, it's hard. All the time it's hard. But we have to push past the hardness of it. And just, it's when you know God. Because the Bible says if we don't forgive, He will not forgive us. And we want to be forgiven. It is such a wonderful feeling when you forgive. It feels so good when you don't have bitterness in your heart, when you don't have hatred, when you don't have resentment. It is such a wonderful feeling. And if you forgive, it will show, because the way or you wear your face, your heart is shown on your face. So if you have forgiven me, when you see me, I'll know. And I'm not talking about pretending, because you know when people are pretend. And you know when people love. And you know when people eat. And you know when people are just doing it just because. Your facial expression can tell a whole lot about your heart. And I was saying this, I was sitting and I was saying to myself, how is it that you can pray to God every day, every night, but you don't talk to your brother and sister? How that work? And I have this thing that I put on my status that I want you to see. I put it on Facebook too. This game, the blame game, the bitterness game, the malice game, the unforgiveness game, the you don't talk to me so me not talk to you game, the me not do you nothing and me not do him nothing, that the game then. The most important game, all of them game they need to stop. we need to move from. If we look upon ourselves and we evaluate ourselves, take an evaluation check. Last year, this year, the beginning of the year, last month, last week, yesterday, how far have we come? Are we still unforgiving? And how can you be in the church for years and still harbor resentment, unforgiveness, bitterness, hatred? Because what you practice, you're going to become. If you practice to love, you're going to be a loving person. If you practice to forgive, you're going to be a forgivable person. If you practice to gossip and chat people, that's what you're going to become. And I wrote on my status again, I got a revelation from the Lord. Some of us are no longer wearing masks. It is our true identity being featured because we pretend so much and we do it so long. It no longer become a mask. It is what it just fits. So this is who you really are. If I watch the mask, every minute you take off the mask and put on back the mask until one particular time it can't change again. You do it so much so till it becomes who the person is. So we have to be careful what we do. All of we want God even. And we have a style. Oh, me not have to talk to this and this a person. Me can just say hello and me can just say, look here, we have a fellowship at heaven. And you now go at heaven and say, oh, me better off over Peter and you better off down at Paul. No. All of we go at heaven and all of we go do the same thing. Bow down and cry out to God. Holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. So me could just fix up the things that we have down here and stop the foolishness. Me not say we're not going to get hurt by people, but we could deal with it quickly. We are going to be hurt because we already know that the path of the cross is not easy. We're going to suffer persecution, even to the point of death. We're going to be lied on, we're going to be accused. But we must maintain our integrity. We are witnesses to the unsaved. And if persons on the outside can't see how we deal with our issues, we have issues with one another just like normal family. But at the end of the day, we are one family. If we can't deal with the issues and persons out there can't see that we're dealing with our issues, and we're still fellowshipping and we're still loving and we're still communicating, then they're not going to want to be a part of us. We have to maintain with integrity. Stop kill witnesses by being unforgiving, by slandering our brothers and sisters. Make we stop it. And we have a fellowship. I'm not going to say you tell your business and your personal things to people. But we have a fellowship. We have to find a way. Because I even we say. And if I even we say we have to find a way. You know, easy, but we have to find a way. I have been hurt a lot of times. And one of these days, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to document to you all that I have been through and make you know, say, look here. And me not just come up so. But it takes forgiving and loving. Evaluating yourself. See how far you come. So if you're a person that is struggling with unforgiveness, please deal with it quickly before you deal with it. Because unforgiveness can mash up. You know, say unforgiveness make you look old. If I see some people and they look old, I say, how old are you? And I say, really? I thought you were much older than that. Unforgiveness, bitterness, hatred. And me not stop talk about these things because it's too much. Unforgiveness, bitterness, it's too much. I mean, we must can have our differences and deal with it. And let it go. Let it go. I have. And it has done wonders for me. So, I'm imploring you. You may be hurting now. But when you go at the altar and you leave it at the altar, don't take it up back. Tell God about it. And when you see the person that has hurt you, try if you find a way. Ask God if you find a way for you to get to the bottom of it so you can worship, because the Bible did say if you bring your gift at the altar and you realize that your brother and sister have aught against you, and you have aught against them, I never say if your brother or sister have aught against you, then if you come to you. If you realize that your brother or your sister have somewhat with you, the Bible says if we leave the gift at the altar, and we must go make it right. We want to make it right, because two things can reach us. Is either death or the rapture. And when then two things they come, we want to make sure that we're in right standing with God. So I'm going to implore you, if you're hurting, do not let it prolong. Talk to God. Let him heal your heart so you can be on your jolly way in praising God. This is Unapologetically Kefira. I'll come to you some other time with some of the excerpts from my book and some other videos on pressing issues that needs to be addressed. Peace.